Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Military Mind, bringing you news from the front lines. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Overnight into February 2nd, Russia launched another large-scale attack on Ukraine, firing a total of 25 missiles and more than 200 strike drones of various types. In Kyiv, 2 people were wounded in the Russian attack. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko wrote overnight that Russian forces were attacking the city's infrastructure with ballistic missiles. Strikes were also recorded in Dnipro, where local officials said that 4 people were wounded, including an infant less than a month old. An infrastructure facility and private homes were damaged in the city as well. In Odessa, 1 person was injured during an attack on the region's port and civilian infrastructure. On the other side of the front line, in Russia, Volgograd warehouse belonging to the main missile and artillery directorate of the Russian Ministry of Defense caught fire following a missile strike. There were no civilian casualties or damage to civilian buildings. Residents of the settlement where the strike occurred were evacuated as a precaution due to the risk of secondary explosions. In the Tambov region, according to regional officials, several buildings, including one belonging to a university, were damaged by debris from Ukrainian drones crashing to the ground. Preliminary reports indicate that 2 people were injured. According to an analysis by the independent Russian outlet Astra, the target of the attack was the Progress Plan, which manufactures equipment used in aviation and missile guidance as well as control systems. Now, turning to the front line, ongoing counter battles continue along the line from Ternopil to Hulepole. Ukrainian forces are also reducing the size of the gray zone in their approaches to Zaporizhia. According to Deep State, Russian infiltration south of the city has been eliminated, resulting in a reduction of the gray zone on the project's map. Over the past several weeks, Russian forces managed to seize most of the city of Hulepole, reach the road leading towards Pokrovsk, and advance west of the city. However, several days ago, Ukrainian forces carried out a series of counterattacks, forcing Russian units to withdraw deeper into their previously held positions. Russia's hybrid war is steadily pushing further west. According to Norway's security and intelligence services, the threat from the Kremlin is expected to intensify in the year 2026. In their annual threat assessment, Norwegian authorities warn of increased activity by Russian intelligence service on Norwegian soil, as well as in the Arctic region. One of the primary concerns is the risk of attack on Norway's energy infrastructure, including both physical sabotage and cyber operations. This particularly significant given Norway's strategic role, as the country is a key ally of Ukraine and currently the largest supplier of pipeline gas to Europe. See, Norway has already taken decisive countermeasures. Russian intelligence officers operating under diplomatic cover has been expelled, and most Norwegian ports have been closed to Russian vessels, significantly limiting Moscow's operational reach. Despite these steps, Norwegian intelligence warned that Russia is likely to continue surveillance efforts along Norway's vast and complex coastline. This includes the mapping of critical infrastructure, often carried out using civilian vessels, a tactic increasingly associated with Russian hybrid operations. A separate and especially troubling trend involves attempt by Russian intelligence service to recruit Ukrainian refugees living in Norway. These individuals are reportedly targeted for intelligence gathering or acts of sabotage. Authorities say those with relatives or property in Russian-occupied territories of Ukraine are considered particularly vulnerable to coercion and pressure. In the Arctic, Norway continues to closely monitor Russian military activity in the North Atlantic and around the Kola Peninsula. This region is home to Russia's Northern Fleet and a significant portion of its nuclear second strike capability, making it a core element of Moscow's strategic deterrence. Norway's military intelligence leadership has been clear about the country's role. As one senior official put it, Norway considers itself NATO's eyes and ears in the north. We open today with this interesting picture. A Ukrainian soldier walks along the road, filming the remains of 4 ground-based robotic systems destroyed during combat missions. Damaged metal, broken parts, traces of explosions. That is all that is left of the machine meant to protect Ukrainian lives. Now, these ground-based robotic systems were used for logistics and evacuation. They deliver supplies, transported the wounded, and entered the most dangerous areas under enemy fire. At the most critical moments, they took the brunt of Russians' attack. It could have been Ukrainian bodies thrown across the street, dead and gone, but instead, all that is left are the burnt remains of machines that protected those same lives.
Дорога ВНРК все встелена, блядь. Раз, два, три, там сзади 4.
And here's what we have for you next. You've probably heard of Ramzan Kadyrov's so-called TikTok troops, no? As what the Chechen unit Akhmat is often called, because online there are countless videos of them dancing, telling stories, performing for the camera, but not actually fighting. And here you see something very different. A Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet delivering a precision strike using a French-made hammer-guided bomb and destroying a Chechen unit's deployment site in Russia's Kursk region. Most likely at the exact moment when those fierce warriors were busy recording yet another TikTok. When Russian forces occupy territory, they often take over the homes of ordinary civilians who are forced to flee their homeland to escape the fighting. In this video, pilots from Ukraine's 63rd Mechanized Brigade strike Russian shelters hidden inside of civilian homes. This is yet another reminder of what the aftermath looks like when Russia pays a visit to your neighborhood. Nothing but ruins, rubble, and destruction. And we're wrapping up this episode with a compilation of successful Ukrainian drone strikes on Russian targets. See, for some people, a routine workday means going to the office. For Ukrainian FPV drone pilots, a regular day on the job means hunting down Russian forces in their ambush positions. Let's take a look at Russian targets being successfully taken off the board. And with that footage, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. But for more news, updated and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.